Before Marvel made sci-fi stylish, The Fifth Element was pure, colorful madness, and it became one of the weirdest, boldest sci-fi films ever made. But behind those flying taxis and orange-haired aliens are wild stories, creative fights, and some seriously surprising secrets. Luc Besson started writing The Fifth Element when he was just 16 years old. He spent years expanding the story, creating characters, languages, and worlds long before he had the budget to make it real. By the time filming began in the mid-90s, the script was nearly 400 pages long enough for several movies. Besson described it as my dream world, my escape from school and reality. It's wild to think one of the most visually extravagant sci-fi films ever came from the imagination of a French teenager doodling spaceships in his notebook. That strange, lyrical language Leeloo speaks, completely made up by Luc Besson himself. Called the divine language, it consists of around 400 words in a loose grammatical structure. Milla Jovovich took it so seriously that she and Besson would have entire conversations in it off-camera. By the end of filming, they could actually communicate fluently. The pair even joked that it became their private secret code. It's one of the only times in film history that a director and actor literally spoke an invented alien language fluently behind the scenes. Bruce Willis's blonde hair in The Fifth Element wasn't natural. It was a wig, and he hated it. He reportedly begged Besson to let him go bald halfway through filming, but the director refused because continuity would be ruined. Willis joked that the wig was more high maintenance than Milla Jovovich. Ironically, by the time the movie wrapped, he decided to shave his head permanently, and that bald look became his signature. So technically, The Fifth Element created the modern Bruce Willis image we all recognize today. The role of Ruby Rhod, played hilariously by Chris Tucker, was originally written for Prince. Luc Besson sent him the script and even invited him to costume fittings, but Prince thought the outfits were too effeminate, ironic, given his style. When he dropped out, Chris Tucker stepped in at the last minute and improvised most of his lines. Tucker's explosive energy made Ruby unforgettable, but imagining Prince in the role feels like a glimpse into an even stranger alternate reality. During production, Luc Besson and Milla Jovovich began dating and eventually got married the same year the movie was released. It wasn't without controversy, since Besson was still technically married to another actress when they started filming. Their relationship was short-lived, ending 2 years later, but it added real chemistry to Leeloo's character. Many fans say you can feel that energy in her scenes, especially when Leeloo first meets Korben Dallas. Over 8,000 actresses auditioned to play Leeloo, including Julia Roberts and Elizabeth Berkley. Milla Jovovich's combination of innocence, mystery, and physicality won Besson over instantly. He called her the perfect alien. Her fiery orange hair and piercing blue eyes became one of cinema's most iconic visuals. What's more surprising is that Jovovich had been modeling and acting since childhood, but The Fifth Element made her an international star almost overnight. Gary Oldman's villain, Jean-Baptiste Zorg, is one of the strangest baddies in sci-fi history. But here's the shocking part. Oldman has admitted multiple times that he had no idea what the movie was even about. He only did it as a favor to Luc Besson, who had helped finance one of Oldman's earlier films. "I didn't even read the script properly," he once said. "I just liked the costumes." Despite that, his over-the-top performance became iconic, a perfect fit for the movie's chaotic tone. At the time, The Fifth Element was the most expensive European film ever, costing around $90 million. That's pocket change for Hollywood now, but in 1997 it was astronomical for a French production. Most of the budget went into elaborate sets and special effects. Besson shot primarily at Pinewood Studios in England, using massive sound stages built specifically for the movie. The gamble paid off, and it earned over $260 million worldwide. The flying taxi chase through futuristic New York is one of the most iconic scenes in sci-fi, and it took nearly 3 months to film and composite. Most of the backgrounds were miniature models, not CGI. Every car you see zipping around the skyline was hand-animated and layered into the frame. The result? One of the most breathtaking chase scenes ever captured, especially for 1997. Despite Luc Besson's strict direction, Bruce Willis improvised several of his funniest lines. The scene where he casually says, "Anyone else want to negotiate?" was completely unscripted. Willis's dry humor balanced the movie's chaos perfectly, grounding it with relatable sarcasm. Besson loved the result so much that he allowed Willis to add extra jokes later in ADR. The wild-looking guns and gadgets in The Fifth Element weren't CGI props. They were real, custom-made weapons. Prop designer Nick Dudman built over 200 functioning devices using repurposed camera parts and plumbing supplies. Some even had working lights and firing mechanisms. The famous Zorg ZF-1 gun was fully mechanical and could fire blank rounds from multiple barrels simultaneously. The futuristic world of The Fifth Element influenced everything from Mass Effect to Cyberpunk 2077. Even fashion designers like Alexander McQueen and Balenciaga have cited Jean-Paul Gaultier's work on the film as inspiration. The movie's colorful chaos helped redefine how sci-fi could look: gritty, funny, and glamorous all at once. Fashion legend Jean-Paul Gaultier didn't just design the movie's iconic costumes, he designed over 1,000 of them. From Leeloo's bandage outfit to Ruby Rod's outrageous leopard jumpsuits, Gaultier hand-approved every detail. He even dressed hundreds of background extras individually. His goal was to make the future feel lived in, but stylishly bizarre. It worked. The film looks like a runway show from another galaxy. The crazy part? He designed most of it by hand, sketching for months before a single scene was shot. That jaw-dropping operatic performance by the blue-skinned diva Plava Laguna wasn't just impressive, it was scientifically impossible to perform live. The composer, Eric Serra, intentionally wrote the song with impossible note jumps that a human voice can't hit in one breath. The actress sang what she could, and the rest was digitally spliced together. In later years, a few singers on YouTube have managed to come close, but it remains one of the most hauntingly beautiful and technically bizarre movie areas ever created. Filming The Fifth Element was chaos. Between Besson's perfectionism, the massive international crew, and constant schedule changes, the production nearly collapsed multiple times. Sets were delayed, budgets ballooned, and Bruce Willis was juggling other film commitments. At one point, producers threatened to shut everything down unless Besson cut major scenes, but he refused. Somehow, the film wrapped only a few days behind schedule, which is miraculous considering its scale. Despite mixed reviews, The Fifth Element gained a passionate fanbase. Today, it's considered one of the most visually original films of the 1990s. Its quotes, costumes, and even Leeloo's orange hair have become pop culture icons. It proved that weirdness and sincerity could coexist, and that sometimes the strangest movies are the ones that last forever. Luc Besson briefly considered a sequel focusing on the mysterious dark force known as Mr. Shadow. The story would have expanded the universe and introduced new elements, but Besson dropped the idea after realizing he had already said everything he wanted with the first film. Fans still speculate about what a Fifth Element 2 might have looked like, and honestly, it's probably for the best that it stayed a one-off. The Fifth Element isn't just Leeloo, it symbolizes love as the ultimate cosmic force. Besson said he wrote the story to explore the idea that technology and war mean nothing without emotion. It's a rare sci-fi film that argues love literally saves the universe. Pretty deep for a movie featuring a DJ in leopard print yelling into a space mic. When The Fifth Element premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, audiences didn't know what to expect, but it received a massive standing ovation. The film's energy and visuals blew everyone away. Milla Jovovich burst into tears, overwhelmed by the reaction. It's one of the few times a loud, campy sci-fi blockbuster got the red carpet treatment. And that's 20 surprising facts about The Fifth Element. From alien languages to rock star villains, this movie is proof that sci-fi doesn't have to make sense. Which fact surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite cult classics.